Hey guys, welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. This is Abe, your host. It is April 16th, 2025. So I got up early today. Just been an insomniac. I had plans to mow the lawn. I cannot get this riding mower started. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have it in turtle mode. I have the parking brake on. I have it in neutral. So I don't know. I tried jumping it yesterday. I don't know if the battery needs charged. I don't know. My wife's gonna take a look at it. And, because two heads are better than one. Maybe I might have to get the battery checked at like an AutoZone or Walmart or something. See if we need a new battery. If not, I might have to pay someone to fix it. So that sucks. But yeah, that's been my day. So been trying to be, productive, but not really working out. Let me get my coffee here. So I know this is kind of old news, but you guys already know I haven't been podcasting like I used to. I went on my little break, my hiatus. I needed it, I kind of explained a little bit what was going on with my life. Not everything. I'm still having some issues that hopefully blow over soon. And I will fill you guys in on what that was all about, hopefully. So this is kind of older news. It was a recent SNL skit. First of all, SNL sucks, man. I mean, it used to be awesome back in the day, like when it had Jim Belushi, Chris Farley, It's just honestly just super political garbage now. And I felt like back in the day, like it was political, but it made fun of both sides. And that's my thing. I don't care if it's like political jokes, as long as you're making fun of both sides. Because you got to admit, I know like Republican, conservative is the lesser of two evils as of right now. It used to not be. But like you got to make fun of both sides, and both sides are fucking goofy as hell. You guys know me, I'm like a classic liberal. But yeah, and I've noticed that with people, like they're all for you making fun of Joe Biden, but then when you make fun of Trump about something, they're like stone cold face, like, how dare you make fun of my daddy, But there was a recent sketch on SNL called Birthday at Friendly's, with Lady Gaga. And the truth community, conspiracy community, is like freaking out about it. So we're gonna watch it. It's only 5 minutes 38 seconds. I'm gonna play it and you guys can check it out. And then we're gonna discuss it and do a little deep dive. So I have it pulled up on my TV, and we'll check it out. Lie to us. All praise Lamashtu. So, alright, let me turn that down. So, I ain't gonna lie. Edgy humor doesn't really bother me. I know there is a lot of Christian conspiracy theorists who kind of freak out over every little thing. I usually have kind of a level head when it comes to satanic humor. I told you guys before, I used to be in a horror punk band. A lot of our lyrics and music was satanic. Honestly, like none of us were Satanists. My guitarist was a Pastafarian. My little brother was Christian, and then I was like basically an occultist. And we would do it just because it was fun to honestly pick on Christians and freak them out, I still find it kind of fun. I ain't gonna lie, I found it slightly humorous. Like, that seems extreme for, lying about your birthday. And everyone's done it. I mean, at least most people have done it. Like, lied about your birthday to get a free cake or whatever. That's the whole spiel, you know. Um, so we've spoke about Lady Gaga before. First of all, Gaga is Pluto, the Mesopotamian Sumerian god Pluto. Gaga. So there's a lot of entities mentioned in that. Moriam. I'm not sure what Moriam is. We could probably look into that. Lamashtu, Kali Ma. So, and Lady Gaga, she's a witch. You know, I've heard her mention in interviews. There's that famous clip of like her saying, you know, thank you, Lucifer, or something along the lines of something. She says something, Lucifer. But we're going to do like a little bit of a deep dive of what this Lamashtu is. So, in Mesopotamian mythology, Lamashtu is a Akkadian / Sumerian demonic Mesopotamian entity with the head of a lion, the teeth of a donkey, naked breast. So, it might be anthropomorphic, I think is what they call it, like hermaphroditic, kind of like the Baphomet. We've done an episode on the Baphomet of its true meaning. It was created by Eliphas Levi. Go check that out. But the Baphomet is not what you think it is. I mean, everyone looks at it as like a satanic symbol. It is used by Satanists and stuff. It shows up in the Devil card of tarot. Eliphas Levi explained what it was and what it means. It's basically the marriage of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, which in occultism, you find a lot of that. Sacred feminine, sacred masculine. Everyone has it, and it's finding a balance between the two. It's got the caduceus, which would kind of tie into like the spheres, kundalini rising and stuff. So we got aspects of the sacred masculine, sacred feminine here. A hairy body, which would be the carnal, reminds me of kind of the Baphomet. That's what basically, from the waist down, it's the body of like Pan, of a satyr. That represents the carnality, especially from the waist down. You know, like the Freemasons, they cover up with the apron, the phallic, you know, rod. Basically, yeah, being hairy down from the waist down, the carnality. That's basically what that would represent. Hands stained with blood, long fingers and fingernails, and the feet of an Anzu. So what is an Anzu? An Anzu, also known as Zu or Imdugud, is a monster in several Mesopotamian religions. He was conceived by the pure waters of the Abzu and the wide earth, or as son of Sirius. Anzu was depicted as a massive bird who can breathe fire and water, although Anzu is alternately depicted as a lion-headed eagle. So a chimera, like a griffin. Yeah, I truly do believe, you guys know me, I'm an ancient astronaut theorist, and I do believe that back in the day, there was high technology, whether that's fallen angel, alien, whatever. I don't really see much of a difference between the two. I know there's people who argue aliens and fallen angels. Aleister Crowley always said, you know, today we will call them angels, tomorrow we will call them something else. I think he was referring to aliens, you know. But I do definitely believe there was chimeras back then. Whether you believe that's the fallen angels literally mating with animals, that's up to you. Whether you believe it's aliens with technology altering DNA and genes and stuff with animals and humans, like we're doing now, like the government's doing now. Um, yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. We're doing it now. We did it back then, and I believe this world has had multiple apocalypses. Um, but the thing is, like, why argue about it? Oh, it's fallen angels and they were literally fucking them. Oh, it's aliens and they had a lab and scientifically altering DNA. Like, we're talking about the same thing. We're saying the same thing. It's just it's stupid in this community that there's so much arguing. People are on the same team. They just disagree on little details, and I don't know. So let's see. Let's go back to Lamashtu. So, the feet of Anzu. She was believed to feed on the blood of human infants, and was widely blamed as the cause of miscarriages and cot deaths. Now, a lot of people are right there, feeding on the blood of human infants, so human sacrifice, and she was blamed for miscarriages and deaths in the bed of children. A lot of people are tying this in with Lilith, that it possibly could be Lilith. I believe that Lilith was definitely like the Hebrew legend. And by the way, we spoke of this. There's an episode I did. I think I titled it, or at least a video. I think I titled it Lilith, First Wife of Adam, or something like that. Or Evidence of Lilith in the Bible. And we kind of discussed Lilith. Lilith, I definitely believe, was the archetype of the succubus. And her offspring became succubus / incubus. Same entity. It can change its sex. And there is a belief system in general that angels are actually all hermaphrodites. So it would make sense that it could be incubus or succubus. But yeah, a lot of people believe that night terrors would be like the scientific explanation for it. But they are the ones, like, they kill babies, They also steal semen from men and travel them to a female and get them pregnant. That's what wet dreams supposedly are. Wet dreams are supposedly a succubus, like, fucking with you while you're sleeping. That's one thing that's always concerned me with, like, you get, like, these Christians who are celibate, and hey, that's cool, whatever, whatever floats your boat. And they're having wet dreams and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, man, you believe in all this, like, Christian stuff. I would, if you truly do believe that, wouldn't you be concerned about succubus then? Because a lot of people think that's what wet dreams are, is you got visited by a succubus, But I don't know. I think a lot of it's fucking tomfoolery. You guys know me. I'm an occultist, I do believe in... I'm a very spiritual person, but I think a lot of it is... With Christianity, I think a lot of it is just tomfoolery. It just cracks me up. Especially the demonization of sex. So although Lamashtu has traditionally been identified as a demoness, the fact that she could cause evil on her own without the permission of other deities strongly indicates that she was seen as a goddess in her own right. So, we already know that the fallen angels, and this is my opinion, I am not Christian, but I do actually believe this. I believe that the fallen angels, the demons, a lot of them were worshipped as lowercase gods. We've done episodes about this. Like, we did an episode, Prometheus, the story of Prometheus, which is Lucifer. A lot of people don't know that. Prometheus is Lucifer. We did an episode on Azazel and how Azazel is Hephaestus. A lot of these gods are interchangeable. Raiden is Thor. You know, Odin is Horus, and Horus is Jesus. They're all interchangeable. You see the same stories, same archetypes. Now, there is theories that means they were physical beings and traveling around, and that's why they were named different things in different areas, because language is different since the Tower of Babel. All our tongues are scrambled and separated, you know. Give me just a second. Okay, so the fact... So yeah, she was identified as a demoness, but she was also worshipped as a goddess. Mesopotamian peoples protected against her using amulets and talismans. So there you find it, the similarity of Lilith. By the way, that's my cat's name, my little black cat. And Roseanne was talking about, I was listening to Roseanne podcast. I almost said barcast. I got drink on my mind. I'm just kidding. I'm drinking coffee. But I was listening to her, and she's Hebrew, and she was talking about just the mentioning of her name is like bad luck and can draw her nearer to you. Which my cat's name is Lilith. I call her Lily sometimes, but I believe if you fear that type of thing, then you're gonna put that energy out there. I mean, you guys know me, I'm an occultist, so I believe in intention and drawing things to you. Like, if you believe something hard enough, it's going to happen. So I mean, if you're like, oh no, I can't say Lilith, you know, yeah, you might get a visitation because you're creating a tulpa, or you're summoning this deity with your fear. That's another thing too, is like a lot of Christians are super scared about, almost to a superstitious level of like, oh, I don't want to talk about that, you know, like it's Voldemort or something. And it's like, don't you have like a sky daddy who's supposed to be protecting you? You know, like, put a little more faith in him, buddy. So amulets and talismans were used, kind of like with Lilith, to protect against her. She was believed to ride in her boat on the river of the underworld. So there is a connection to Charon or Charin, the boatmaster of Styx. This is what I tell you guys, man. All these fallen angels, lowercase gods, daemons, demons, angels in general, you see similarities. You see how it could be Charon. You see how it could be Lilith. And the thing is if you go with the theory that these entities are hermaphroditic or can change sex, I mean, it would make sense. I mean, we've already discussed this before on the channel, that Lucifer was originally worshipped as a female entity, Venus. Venus is Lucifer, you know, as the female. She was believed to be the daughter of An. And I believe, let's see, Anu. I believe we've covered him before because we went through the book of Enki, and this is honestly my main, I would say, if I had to choose a religion, it would probably, like, I worship the creator of all, Hu, H-U, and creator of all is what the Anunnaki worshipped. Even they worshipped a god, the creator of everything, you know. So Anu would be, it is a deity, divine personification of the sky. So Father, Sky, Sky Father, which you find that in Native American. The king of gods, king of the gods, an ancestor of many of the deities in the ancient Mesopotamian religion. So he would be kind of like, yeah, Zeus almost, because Zeus traveled in the sky and stuff. He was a sky deity, throwing lightning bolts. He was regarded as the source of both divine and human kingship, so created kings. So King of Kings, King of Gods, you know, and opens the enumerations of deities in many Mesopotamian texts. At the same time, okay, we're not going to do a deep dive on him. But yeah, so she's the daughter of An, which they all would be. I mean, it's kind of like Greek mythology. You have like Saturn, which created Zeus and all his siblings, and they have their family trees. One big family. So Lamashtu's father was the sky god Anu, sky father, like the Native Americans. Unlike many other usual demonic figures and depictions in Mesopotamian lore, Lamashtu was said to act in malevolence of her own accord rather than at the god's instructions. So there you go. Lilith was the very first feminist, you know, first wife of Adam. She would not let Adam fuck her. She wanted to be on top. She was the very first feminist. So right there, I can see the connection with Lamashtu and Lilith. And by the way, Lilith Lamashtu. That's something to take note on. And right there it says that she doesn't follow orders from any other gods or goddesses. She does whatever the fuck she wants. She's the first feminist, the spirit of Lilith, rebellion, you know. She bore 7 names and was described as 7 witches and incantations. Her evil deeds included, but were not limited to, slaying children, unborns, neonates, causing harm to mothers and expectant mothers, eating men and drinking their blood, vampirism, which Lilith has been theorized to be like the first vampire, disturbing sleep, bringing nightmares, so fucking with your sleep, she's a succubus, killing foliage, infesting rivers and lakes, and being a bringer of disease, sickness, and death. That's metal as fuck, dude. Yeah, interesting. Now, they did mention, and this is actually kind of interesting, whoever did this skit, they knew what the fuck they were talking about. Because they mentioned in that video, they mentioned pazuzu. So pazuzu, a god or demon, was invoked to protect birthing mothers and infants against Lamashtu's malevolence. So pazuzu would be like the counter of Lamashtu. And pazuzu, by the way, there was a serial killer or something back in the day. His name was, he called himself Pazuzu Alagard, had his name like changed to that. That's a whole rabbit hole. I want to do an episode on him. He's fucking crazy. But Pazuzu was made famous in like the film The Exorcist. So if you've ever seen that, the statue of the as above, so below, deity with 4 wings and it's got its hand up. I actually have an Exorcist t-shirt somewhere. If I had it, I'd show you. Just look it up. It's like famous. So Pazuzu was the counter to her. Pazuzu, a god or demon, was invoked to protect birthing mothers and infants against Lamashtu's malevolence, usually on amulets or statues. Although Pazuzu was said to be bringer of famine and drought, he was also invoked against evil for protection and against plague, but he was primarily and popularly invoked against his fierce, malicious rival, Lamashtu. So here is an incantation of Pazuzu against Lamashtu. So literally, they kind of demonize Pazuzu in the movie. Then he doesn't sound like a bad dude. I'm not going to read this incantation just because, not that I'm scared or anything, but I'm not going to. I mean, I do believe in witchcraft. I practice witchcraft, and I'm not going to sit here and read an incantation, but I will show you so you can pause it and read it yourself if you want. So there's that. And here's another incantation against her. And apparently in this one she is tied to Inanna, which is She shows up a lot in the Book of Enki. We've covered her before. She's a bad bitch. So there's another incantation. So there you go. You got a couple incantations against succubus. But yeah, so did a little deep dive on Lamashtu, pazuzu, Anu. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to cover basically the whole SNL skit and do a little deep dive on what these entities are and who these entities are and talk about it for a little bit. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't care, yeah, definitely subscribe, man. I'm trying to get up to 500 subs. I keep gaining and losing, gaining and losing. You guys know how the game is. Love y'all. Talk to me in the comments. I found this interesting. I love doing deep dives on Sumerian, Mesopotamian stuff. So, see y'all later.